Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. This is Anna with Soul Embrace Tarot, and I felt prompted to do a reading for all the singles out there. The singles that are ready to open themselves up to having love come into their life. This is for you. So I'm gonna do the signs individually just because I think people like that versus just one big message for everybody. So let's start with let's start with Aries. Let's start at the beginning. Okay. So, what energy is currently surrounding your love life at this time? I'm going to try not to have too many cards, but you never know. And I have this fabric on. I'm trying to get used to having fabric again underneath. I thought I would have this on the table. But I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to get used to it. But let's see if I can manage. Okay. So what energy is currently surrounding Aries' love life? This is for those that would be open to receiving love. Some people aren't ready for that. They're still in a healing process. They're still maybe just enjoying their solo life as single people. And Wendy, oh no, mi amor, no puedo hacer eso, porque me lo vas a arrugar, mi amor. Entonces después se pone, mi amor, cuéntate. That's new for her too, so she's gonna want to lay on it. Mi amor, cuéntate aquí. Cuéntate aquí. Okay, so yeah, just for those of you that are, oh my god, I'm gonna have to take those fabric off. That's it. It was good while it lasted. Aries, my goodness. All right, what's the energy that surrounds Aries' love life? For those that are open to receiving it, Spirit. Not for those that are not interested. Well, you say you want to have someone in your life, but there's still some defensiveness. You're very stubborn. You're very stubborn. You're very on guard. There's possibly a someone that's interested in coming in. There's potential for someone to come in, but someone who's very kind, gives off really good energy, very intuitive person. But if you have this energy of I'm not motivated, I have a lot of self-doubts, this is gonna be on hold. And if it does get to penetrate those doubts and that wall you've put up, it's not gonna last, because this person seems to be pretty grounded. And not that you're not, I mean, you just have a wall up, is what I'm seeing. This is what's coming to you. This is the energy surrounding you. Your love life, you know? We're talking about your love life. You're being a bit defensive. You're lacking confidence. Maybe you've been in a negative experience before and you're still in the healing process. It's very possible. But you've lost the direction. Maybe maybe you had started the healing process or trying to process that relationship or your feelings about relationships, and you've sort of lost the motivation to continue doing that. You've delayed that because you have a lot of self-doubts regarding your love life, is what we're talking about. There may be regrets, things that you may be wanting to revisit something from the past. I recommend that you just do a quick review analysis and don't stay stuck. This has the energy of staying stuck in regrets of the past, because you feel perhaps that you were done wrong, or that there was an injustice there, and that's keeping you stuck. Tell me a little bit more about that. This is the next question of who or what is coming towards you in love. That's what wants to come towards you, but it's on hold because you're still in this energy. For whoever resonates with this, okay? If you don't, if you feel like you've begun the healing and you're not necessarily, there may be still stuff for you to look at there, to release, so that you don't bring it with you. Yeah, you just need to, it's a process of transformation. You know, the rising from the ashes energy. This may be past energy, but there's still remnants that may be holding you back. Maybe you're in the process of the transformation, of the healing, to try and get yourself to do something new, to open yourself up. Maybe you've been closed off for a while and are wanting to open yourself up to the possibilities of maybe meeting someone, having someone come into your life. And it feels almost like a new concept to you. I see that. I see you being able to do that. But for some of you, there's still resistance. This is the possibility. This is what's required. The stepping out of the ashes. You can't live in the ashes forever. You know what I mean? You can't stay in that pity party, or in that anger, or in that depression, sadness, regret. You can't stay there for too long, because it becomes a more difficult to step out of when you want to actually begin the healing. It's just it has to be a quicker review, a quicker, delving into the lessons that you could have learned from a past experience. Yeah. There may have been someone who was very critical. It could have been you. It may be, because, you have to look at, I say it all the time. I say it all the time. You have to look at what you contributed to whatever happened, right? It's not all about them. Then. What did I allow? What did I enable? What did I also participate in? And it's not about blaming or being ashamed. It's about just recognizing the facts, the truth, and then accepting it, forgiving it, releasing it. And I know that I made that sound really easy. It's not easy. But once you get started on the process, it becomes easier. I believe. Maybe I'm just built that way, but I believe that it can become easier once you really are determined to heal and to rise and to open yourself up to new, better experiences. You don't want to just repeat the same, because if you don't go through that processing, you repeat the same type of cycle. The cycle repeats itself over and over again with different people. And different things in your life too. All relationships are all tied together. This could have been a personal romantic type relationship, but then it can show up that cycle of, whatever that cycle was. If it was a controlling person, if it was a lot of criticism, a toxicity, negativity, it can show up in the workplace. If you don't learn to process and to begin to recognize the signs so that you can avoid or handle those situations as they come through life. You're going to keep coming across toxic people. You're going to keep coming across toxic situations at work. It's all a constant exposure to that type of stuff until you learn to really, what does it mean to you? We got to do that processing. I don't know. I'm always saying that. It's annoying. I know it's annoying. But you have to do it. What you want is a happy home. This is the inner you that wants that. You want kindness. You want love. We all want that. You want that stability. You want to belong to something or someone. You want to be content, fulfilled. You want to be part of a legacy. All the things that everybody wants. You want that too. But you have to process. You have to be able to release. I feel like some of you are holding on. Some of you have begun that healing. Have you begun it? Some of you need to begin it. Some of you are resistant to it. You got to do it. No one wants to stay stuck in the battle, that constant battle. I know Aries is I know you. I'm one of you. It's that very strong-willed, is like my way or the highway. I want to do it this way. I don't care what you say. At some point you have to just focus on what is the right way to do this for myself, for my growth, for my healing. What can I release from this battle that I've chosen to stay in? These energetic ties that I have with that person, that place that I used to work, the people that, oh my gosh, I hated that person at work, and that's still tied to you. Release those things. Learn from it if you can. If you find that you can't, release it anyway. Release it. That's your way of learning that's learning. You're learning to release things even if you haven't learned what was meant, why that came into your life in the first place. You can release something without having had the lesson from it. That's a lesson in itself. To let go of shit that isn't working for you. It never worked. It's not gonna work. So why hold on to it? Why stay mad at it? You know what I mean? Just do it. Okay. I'm tired already. The energy surrounding your love life is releasing this stubbornness, this building your confidence as well. What builds your confidence is knowing that you don't have to be tied to something that doesn't serve you. That alone builds your confidence. Maybe you feel like, oh, I have to stay stuck. And that might not be a conscious thing that you think literally. It may be an energetic thing that you feel like you have to, I have to stay stuck to this thing because I haven't learned lessons yet. Really? Just let it go. Release it. It's not in your life anymore. What are you holding on to? Ask that question. What am I holding on to this for? And if you don't know, release it. Eventually, if it's important enough, it'll come back. It will. It'll come back if it's important enough for you. But if it's not, just release it. I'm sorry. Who or what is coming to you, right? Or wants to come in. This person, this energy is not necessarily a masculine, if that's not what you identify with, but it's a masculine energy that is loving. A masculine energy that is loving, that is kind, that takes action because it is the right thing to do. It's a person that's very forgiving, very trustworthy, and very trusting. Someone who nurtures your creativity. Holy moly. Can I meet this person? I may still be here. Do what I say, not what I do. All right. A person who is very intuitive. And by the way, these may be qualities, for sure. These are qualities that you need to connect with within yourself. Aries, I know. You need to connect with your intuition. You need to be more kind to yourself and to others. You need to tap into the wisdom that you already possess and to have a desire to gain more wisdom. You're very innovative. You're a leader. You know, this is stuck energy. This is not typical Aries energy, by the way. This kind of stuckness, Aries usually can take themselves out of that. But if it's been a very influential experience, right? Or if it caught you off guard or whatever, we all have bad moments. It's not typical of Aries to stay stuck in something in this manner. Or to have low self-esteem. It's not a typical quality or trait of an Aries. So if you are feeling that means that you're not centered, you're not grounded. There's things that you have to do because your typical situation, your typical, how do I say that? Not situation. Your typical energy is one of confidence, of leadership, of take action, move forward, you know, defending the defenseless, that kind of thing. You're also very enthusiastic and almost with that childlike sense of wonder and excitement about life. So if you have a stuckness about you, that's not, you know that that's not your usual self. So you have to kind of work with that. Look at it. Just look at it. Let's look at this person. It could, I mean, this can also represent if, let's say, although you're watching a love reading, let's say that it is really, you're just open to love in general. You want to open yourself up to more loving experiences and connections. Not necessarily romantic, but this could be in the workplace, a more balanced and supportive workplace. This could be a new boss that's just so supportive and encouraging and kind. You know, this could be a friend. It could be a number of different things, okay? Tell me more about this person. Someone who establishes a sense of adventure within you, who kind of wakes that up. Maybe, I mean, there's affluence here. So either this person has, you know, is well off. How do you say that? Excuse me. Either they got money or they can bring you money. So again, it could be a boss that allows you to have more opportunity to build your abundance, your own luxuries, your own affluence, okay? Prosperity. It's too many. A lot of creativity involved. This could definitely be just a person that really almost inspires you in a way, and it awakens your own creativity. But again, you being you, this is something that you can take or leave. And I feel that it's because when you start to feel vulnerable, when you're starting to make a connect, this is something to examine. When you start to actually feel really connected to someone or a situation, you kind of feel almost a resistance and feel a feeling of wanting to bounce. That's something, I'm tapping into someone that feels that way. Like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's almost like it's too good to be true. So I'm gonna mess it up somehow and leave. And that is something that you have to for sure look at, because that's not normal. Usually when people start to feel more bonded, they want to continue the bond and make it even more what am I saying? Whew. Strengthen it. They want to strengthen the bond even further. When they feel that it's starting to, oh my gosh, this is feeling really good. You don't want to bounce. You want to stay and strengthen. So if that's how you feel, that may be something that within you have to look at. Not maybe, you have to look at that. Because there's some really beautiful energy here from a person that is wanting to approach you, or is in the energetically can be approaching you once you really work on this. Though I feel that this type of connection, which is really good, will not come in if you are still guarded. Because if it comes in, it won't work. It will dismantle, and we don't want to attract that. The universe doesn't want to do that. The universe would rather wait in sending you this person. And it's not necessarily a specific person. It could just be energetically someone who energetically has these kinds of qualities. I need water. I'm sorry. You know, there's an insecurity that you have to work on. Because anything that someone says that makes you feel that if you're too sensitive about people joke around all the time. For example, someone may say something about you and you immediately shut up, like shut your energy off. And you get offended and you feel like you've been ridiculed, or it just completely like shuts you down because you're in a vulnerable situation. That's something you really have to work on. You have to look at that. Why am I like that? How can I work on that? And that just is understanding that I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I feel like everybody can really work on that stuff, and be realistic with yourself and say, look at where that pattern goes, where that insecurity began. If it began in childhood, well, okay, heal that. You are no longer that person. You are no longer in the vulnerable situation that you were in originally when that first began, where someone humiliated you or said something about you in public. Maybe as a child, someone, a parent. That's typically where that begins. Or the person, your guardian or whoever. And they embarrass you, and everybody laughs. And because to them it wasn't a big deal, but because you maybe are a more sensitive soul, it affected you, and you've brought that with you. And throughout your life, you can tell there have been several moments in your life where you have reacted in a very, maybe even abrupt way because someone said something when it was totally not intended to hurt you. We have to learn those things about ourselves, because we can't function in society if we are uber sensitive like that. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't be that way. I'm telling you, you can't be that way. And for an Aries, that's surprising. So that means that I'm talking or tapping into people who are vulnerable and have had an experience like that, where it's kind of thrown you off of what your nature is, which is to be confident and to be a leader and to step up and say, and a volunteer, and yeah, I'll do that, you know. Hey, hi, you introduce yourself to people, you know. I'm not saying that Aries can't be introverted, but you still have this natural ability to kind of want to take charge a little bit. It's just your nature. It's just the way it is. So if you feel vulnerable all the time and you feel unsure, there's definitely stuff you got to look at. Definitely. And you're going to repeat patterns of toxicity or in relationships if you don't really address that. Where did it begin? I forgive those people that did that to me and that threw me off for my entire life until this moment. And at this moment, I recognize that I'm setting boundaries, and I recognize that not everyone has terrible intentions. Maybe the original people didn't have bad intentions, but because I'm more sensitive, I reacted in a way, and because there were no ways of me setting boundaries, I didn't know how to do that, but now I do. I can research things, I can learn things, because now I'm a person who's watching a reading, and I'm an adult, and I can research how to do this and that. You have to take it into your own hands. You have to take your healing into your own hands. Someone else isn't going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And it's not difficult. And it's not difficult. I mean, okay, it can be difficult. But you're built, everyone is built to handle difficulties. We're surviving. We're all surviving. You know what I mean? So you can handle it. You know how to research. You know how to find information. Just do it. To reclaim what your nature is. You're not a naturally vulnerable person. Quite honestly, no one is. We have vulnerable moments. We have vulnerable states of being where when we're not feeling well, we're depressed, we're caught off guard, we've been through a traumatic experience, and that can make you temporarily vulnerable. Try not to be permanently vulnerable. That is action that you can take to not make yourself permanently vulnerable, or else life is going to be just way more difficult than it really is. This is a person, you may, if this person comes into your life, I don't want you to experience this, to say, I can take it or leave it, you know, just because they said a joke or they said something that touched, hit a nerve, something that hit a nerve. Work on that before this person comes into your life so that you don't have that invisible wall around you. Okay? I don't know. What kind of a love rating is this? I don't know how to do anything. I don't know. I'm weird. What can Aries do? I've already told them a shit ton of stuff to do. Holy moly. What can Aries do to align with the love that they desire? I mean, you know, we all secretly, even if we have a deliberate wall up, I don't want to meet anybody. That sounds very familiar to me. I don't want to meet anybody. I don't want to know anybody. I don't want anybody to talk to me. Stay away. Go away. Shoo, you know? Don't even look at me. Don't smile, nothing. Okay? I get it. But I think secretly, internally, there's something there that everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to be nurtured. Everyone wants to be desired. Everyone wants that secretly. We don't want to go through the rigmarole of getting to it. because it's a lot of work. Sometimes it isn't. If you do the work, that internal work, if you do that internal work, work on any kind of insecurities you may have, it comes naturally. The love just kind of like it floats into your life because the universe sees, oh, they're ready. They're ready. Go, go. They're like the people behind the stage, you know, behind the scenes. Go, 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 go. Okay, throw them in there. Throw her in there. Throw him in there. Whatever you like. Take your pick. Okay? All right. I thought I was going to do 3 readings. I'm only going to be able to do 1 at a time because am I crazy or what? Okay. Spirit. What can Aries do to align with the love they desire? Not with the person they desire. That's a whole other subject. You cannot be waiting for a specific person. Let's talk. You cannot. That's in this first stage of releasing. Release whoever that person is in your head right now, and you know you got one. Everybody's got one. Release that person. If they wanted to be in your life, they would be. For the most part, right? So release that because, and hey, if it's really meant for you to be with that person, they'll float in. The universe will float them in for you once you've done that healing you got to do. Okay? I'm just saying. Again, lastly, what can Aries do to align with the love they desire? We've already said a lot here, but what else can they do? Whoa. Surrender to spirit. I already said this. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, once you've done everything, all the stuff I mentioned here, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. It's exactly what I just said. I know it's probably not focusing. If it is, that's amazing. But anyway. Yeah, because you don't have to work hard. You don't have to be like, oh my God, I gotta sign up to 500 websites and all these stupid apps. Swipe right, up, down, left, diagonal. Oh my God. I don't want to do all that. You don't have to. You don't have to. Hey, you can if you want to. Once you've done that healing work, you can do whatever you want. You can sign up for a couple websites, but it shouldn't feel hard. It shouldn't be difficult. The universe is going to float them in. You just have to be aware and observant of your surroundings and to see the signs that the universe is throwing at you. You can't see signs if you have a wall up, if you're insecure, if you're feeling vulnerable and you're dealing with all that crap. You're not going to see the signs. The signs may already be there for you. Like the universe may be dropping little hints here and there, but you're so stuck in you haven't gone into your phoenix mode yet. Okay? You have to rise from your ashes and then it becomes easier. Is there anything else? Because we're done. I feel like that's it. Okay. Here, give me a little bit more. Just clarify that and then we're done. I've said too much. Is there anything else? Oh, shoot. No, not 500 carat. Nah. No, because it was too many. All right, I think we're done. Let me grab a different. Hold on. For Aries, Spirit, lost guidance. Gosh. There it is. Thank you. See it through. You don't always finish what you start, and then talk badly to yourself because of it. That's very Aries, actually. We have a million projects all started, and then we feel bad about it because we're like, oh my gosh, I should have finished that. Because we get very distracted. We want to move on to the next thing. Break the karmic pattern by seeing a project through to the end, and then be proud of what you accomplished. That's your healing, my friend. Be proud of that. Focus on that. Focus on being the phoenix that rises from the ashes, so that you can, I mean, you don't have to do that just so that the universe can float a person into your life. You know, just do it because it'll make you feel better. It'll help align you into who it is that you really are. Okay? All right. I hope that made sense. I hope you enjoyed that. For the rest of the signs, if you're watching this because you're nosy, I'm going to just do these one every day. I'll do one sign at a time. Because I exhaust myself. I can't. It's too much. All right. Aries, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the singles out there enjoyed this. I hope it made sense. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. My soul embraces yours. Till next time. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.